Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you, Bob, for being here. It's
you're
really an amazing thing to think that you woke up at 4 o'clock this morning
Yeah.
to fly out here.
It's been so much fun so far, I'll tell you.
What do you think of this great career you've had and continue to have?
Oh, I'm one of the most blessed people on the planet, and count my blessings every single day, I assure you. I'm a person that thinks that music can be curative. You know, it's a healing medium, and I think that even applies to like a 14-year-old kid in his room alone with horrible parents who listens to heavy metal music, and it gives him solace and makes him feel better than he did before. So I take that into account whenever I'm mastering. I'm thinking like, wow, somebody might really get off on this. So it's great. It's a tough situation. The loudness wars. Turns out that the human body's built to like things that are a little bit louder better. If I played two things and played another one, the exact same thing, but just turned it up a half dB, you wouldn't say it was louder. You'd say, oh man, that one's got more punch. And then so you take that and then take another one and bring it up yet another half dB and say, well, no, that one's got more punch now, that kind of thing. So it keeps going up and up and up, and pretty soon you've, long time ago, lost all the creative and musical values that were in the mix, and suddenly the music is, well, to me it's not as curative as anymore, but to me it doesn't, there's a sweet spot. We work on pop music a lot. I do all genres of music, but for the pop music that I do, I think there's a sweet spot where bringing it up to a certain amount of compression like just adds punch and vitality and lets you hear low-level detail, all the good things that good compression can do. But once you get past that and it's just level for level's sake, then you very quickly have diminishing returns on that. When I'm talking about that sweet spot of mastering, if an engineer has made a great sounding mix and the mixes that he's given to his client for whatever reason are past where I think that sweet spot is, there's no going back. It's just completely tied my hands. So there's a lot of engineers I have to call and say like, I can work with your less processed mix and make it sound good, and it'll probably end up being as loud as what you did, but it's past where I would have wanted to have gone, and it's so difficult. I mean, the loudness war, it's like, because it's being directly A-B'd, if someone puts anything out on the planet that's too loud, then that's how loud it's going to be. A lot of times the mixes, especially from guys like Tom and Chris and so many of the top echelon guys, these mixes sound damn good, and there's really not much to do to it. And so it's really important when something is good and great to get out of the way. Jeff Emmerich, the Beatles engineer, did all this Useless Beauty with Costello, and he gave me this analog 30-inch half-inch tape, and it was so gorgeous. It was all I could do to just keep out of the way of it, and just try to make a transfer as good as he had it, that kind of thing. And it was almost more like doing a classical project. Mm-hmm. Although, having said that, some classical projects I've done have been some of the most difficult mastering things I've ever done. But on the whole, that was the approach, was just trying to make it as good as it could because it was already good, And I think that's the sign of a mature mastering engineer, to have a client that's paying a good rate, and when they say, what did you do to it? You say, well, not anything.
You stay out of the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like the Pope saying, go in peace, you've done well, that kind of thing.